he said that the country's never been in better shape. We went through this thing because the Democrats, and basically he signs the bill to reopen the government, and everybody applauses. I do think it's super ironic. This isn't even like trying to get political here, but that the government causes the shutdown, but the government also is like pats themselves on the back for reopening. I don't know.
Yeah.
I know it might not have been like Trump's single call to be like, "Hey, we're closing the government," but it is kind of funny. Like you just have a room of people that probably had a hand in shutting it down. You're like,
I
yeah,
mean, I get why. I mean, there's politics at play. I think
yeah,
it probably should have remained shut down longer, but some of the Democrats like ended up caving, and now we're here. Now I don't know if you saw though, there's a lot of news at the airports of getting jammed up, and I kind of knew it was going to reopen because I'm like, constituents anywhere, whether whatever political party you are, like that's a no bueno thing for people that are in business and they have to travel. Like you're gonna get a lot of phone calls from your constituents telling you like, "What the heck here?" And if there's not no, if flights are grounded, people aren't being able to travel. That's a major problem. That's a huge hit to the economy and the U.S. airlines and that whole ecosystem of like that's a huge part of the economy. So I wasn't too surprised, but at the same time, politics is politics, and that's what we get.
yeah, definitely, man. I know Easy missed some flights because of that. Dude, somebody lost $500,000 because of this. So we talk about Polymarket a lot on here, and we talk about like some people, how like and the odds will get to like 95%, and they'll just assume it's like a shoe in, and they'll just full port it just to like get that like 1%, that 5% or whatever.
Yeah.
Somebody did that on the government shutdown, and
Oof.
they lost $500,000 because it was at 95% odds that on November 12th, I guess there wouldn't be any sort of signage of the government shutdown or like whatever progressed for this bet on Polymarket. And then it reversed. It went from 95% to that. It came out that they signed it, and they literally just lost all of their money.
Yeah, that's brutal. And we'll see more of that in the prediction markets, like, things that you think is 100% certainty and it's not. And I kind of knew this was going to happen. Like, I was like, people are saying it's going to be like November 20th. And I was like, I don't know. Like, the airports are like, everybody's freaking out about the airports. And that's a huge problem. And I think people were not really looking at the wider scope, like, they're just looking at the shutdown in the bubble, right? They didn't have, like, the economy in mind, and I think that's one of the things that you have to look at with these things is, like, how is it gonna affect daily people's lives? Like, it doesn't matter what party you are, you're gonna get pissed off if you can't get on your flight, you can't go see your family, holidays are coming up on Thanksgiving. Imagine flights shut down during Thanksgiving. That is a no bueno for the average American person.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what party you're in. You're gonna get calls from those people if you're a senator or a House rep, and you're gonna get your butt chewed out whatever party you're on. We know the Republicans were mostly, wanting to open it up, and they just didn't want to negotiate with with the Democrats. But Democrats kind of had that kind of ticking time bomb where constituents are probably going to make those phone calls, and so that's why I was like, I don't know, we might see it sooner, and sure enough, it
Yeah,
was like
man.
the next day. I was like, dang, that happened quick.
Well, yeah, it happened. That's why people got wrecked on it. They're almost to the end of this, right? And so this is a little important to go in a little bit more detail, like how to avoid this happening to you. A lot of this really depends on like the way the market is resolved, and you can read that in the terms. So like this person might have thought it was a shoe in, like it might have been 10 p.m. or something like that, and they were like, "Oh, there's no way it's going to resolve in 2 hours." But the fine print might say like according to this source, if this is updated on this day or whatever. And it's like, even though you might even be more factually correct than the market prediction, if it has it in the terms on what they're going off of for the resolution, you need to understand that. So if you're betting big money on these things, you got to know that. Tyler also points out here that prediction markets were wildly wrong on the data until this past weekend. Resolution criteria out of the line with the spirit of the market, risk of betting on heavy favorites. So, yeah, just be careful out there with these prediction market bets because you don't want to end up like this person that lost
Yeah.
$5,000.